Welcome to Hip Hop Movie Club, the show that harmonizes the rhythm of hip hop with the magic of movies. Today, we're discussing Friday After Next, the third installment in the comedy classic Friday series, starring Ice Cube, Mike Epps, and John Witherspoon. We're three old heads who put their old heads together to vibe on these films for you. I'm Dino Wright, podcaster, filmmaker, longtime hip hop fan, and watch me whip, watch me day day.
I'm JB, 80s and 90s nostalgia junkie, longtime hip-hop fan. And as both Houdini and Molly, the strip mall and donut shop owner in this one, remind us, the freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night.
I love that album. I'm Boogie, a DJ, longtime hip-hop fan, and I just recently went to the WBLS 50th anniversary featuring DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic Live. Had some old school artists, just a few, Melly Mel, Full Force, Roxanne Shante, Nice and Smooth, the reunion of Third Base, Dress from Black Sheep, Pepper from Salt and Pepper, BBD, and a bunch of other R&B acts as well. It was real dope.
In this episode, we'll answer the question, how does Friday After Next rank in the Friday movie trilogy? And we'll give you 5 key takeaways to make you a smarter hip-hop movie fan. Today, we unwrap the most festive chapter of the Friday franchise. Friday After Next takes us to a Christmas time in South Central LA with Craig and Day Day, two cousins who just can't catch a break. Their holiday season kicks off with a bang when a ghetto Santa Claus raids their apartment, stealing their rent money and their presents. The boys take jobs as security guards at an urban strip mall to make their rent money back before their landlord's musclebound son comes collecting. The most wonderful time of the year turns into a wild adventure in the hood.
And here are 5 things you need to know about Friday After Next. First one, it's a Christmas movie. Number 2, we see the evolution of the dynamic between Craig and Day Day. Third one, there's a shift to a more slapstick style of comedy. 4, this is the last Friday installment for more than 2 decades into the 4th movie, which is scheduled for release next year. And the last one, the movie helped launch the career of the hilarious Katt Williams.
All right. Now, let's kick it off talking about the first one. This Friday After Next is a Christmas movie. We love our Christmas movies, and we're releasing it, as we're kicking off the holiday season. It's the first and only holiday-themed entry in this series. So there's some little unique elements that you see, like the robber that was dressed like Santa Claus, and some other challenges where their gifts were stolen and things like that. But yeah, kind of put you in the mood, but I feel like there was a little bit meat left on the bone with what they could have done with Christmas time. It's not one that you automatically think of like, hey, it's Christmas time, let's put on Friday After Next. What do you guys think?
Not quite a Christmas classic.
No, not a classic. It's kind of like, that's the backdrop. Sure, it's Christmas time, but.
Yeah, I think the first thing that comes to mind when you call this a Christmas movie is the long-standing debate surrounding Die Hard.
Die Hard, yeah, exactly.
Is it or isn't it a Christmas movie?
Elsewhere in LA.
Exactly. But one thing that they did a couple things right. I think even though there was a Santa robbing the apartment, they did play one of the all-time classic Christmas songs at that time, which was The Temptations' Silent Night, which I think was very clever. And I was like, oh, okay, you're trying to set the tone. They also had that animated sequence for the opening credits that had it was like a remix of the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy from Act 2 of the Peter Tofsky's Nutcracker. So I was like, okay, all right, they're trying to get it going. And then there was also the classic This Christmas that played while they were on their way to work. Mm-hmm. And I thought that like those were like they were trying to get it going, but like you guys said, it kind of fell a little short, left a little meat on the bone. They did have a Christmas party at the end, if you want to call it that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the soundtrack is laden with Christmas tracks, like you mentioned. Santa Babies played in it as well. A few other ones. I'm glad you mentioned that cartoon. After the initial live scene, and there was a cartoon, it was reminiscent of the intro to National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which I always enjoy too.
Yes.
Which is kind of offbeat humor. Yeah, so those elements were nice.
Santa Claus really does go straight to the ghetto.
without a chimney to slide down.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer again East Coast bias. I want snow in my Christmas movies. You know, I want to really feel that and warmth of a fireplace. I want to see reindeer, all that stuff.
How about some plastic reindeer?
All the accoutrements, yeah, exactly. So yeah, it is a Christmas movie, but don't be like, oh, I want to sit down with the family and watch a Christmas movie. You might be disappointed, like you don't get all the feels.
You got a real
Christmas.
Funky family if you go sit this with your family.
Right. So the next takeaway that Boogie mentioned is we do see an evolution of the dynamic between Craig and Day Day. It grows. So Boogie, you want to kick us off talking about how that evolves here?
Yeah, I mean, in the last Friday movie that we talked about, and that we suggest you guys review next Friday, we kind of get the intro to Day Day, and we don't really see too much of of the chemistry that we saw between Craig and Chris Tucker's character of Smokey. I think with this one, it starts to evolve a little bit. We start to see a little bit more of it. I mean, they start to finish one another's sentences. I mean, there's more of the busting on each other back and forth between the two of them. Yeah, Craig, he mentally abuses Day Day in this movie. Like, there's one line, like, they're talking and Craig just looks at him and says, "Don't try to outthink me, man. You might hurt yourself." I'm like, wow. And like, he's physically tossing him around. Like, when they're trying to go somewhere, he's like, "Hey, man, just get him." He just grabs him and tosses him. Man, stop throwing me around. So it's kind of hilarious to see that. But then, Day Day actually does get a couple smart one-liners in there, too. Like, I know the funniest one is, that I think is one of the funniest ones to me, and I say this all of the time, is when Craig is trying to talk to Donna's character outside of the store, and Day Day just runs over to him and says, "Hey, I'm Day Day. This is my big head cousin Craig. Bevo Latte got more head than he got body." I say that all the time.
That was very good. That was really good.
And just this constant, reminding Craig, we're top flight security of the world, Craig. I say that all the time too. Anytime I see
security.
Anytime I see security trying to do too much, I call them top flight.
That's really good.
I can't help it. Top flight.
They mentioned that many times. The top flight. We're top flight security, and Day Day like abuses his power. He's halting the girls until they give the number, and like I was cracking up when those three older ladies were just come around caroling, and he was like cursing them out, and then Craig had to defuse them. Yeah. That was wild. Yeah, I do see the dynamic had grown. Like in the movie Next Friday, it's kind of like he moves out to his cousin and uncle's house, and it's almost like they hadn't seen each other in forever. And now it's like, looks like they grew up together, and they're one-liners back and forth. And so, yeah, and they become, I guess, quote unquote, business partners or coworkers. And I was cracking up the way they were fitting themselves into that little security booth, pushing each other back and forth. It was a little juvenile, but it was funny. Yep.
They had a very like Laurel and Hardy kind of relationship.
Yes.
Especially with Craig being the Oliver Hardy kind of, always cracking on Day Day.
Yeah. Even the opening
it was a
scene,
good rapport.
Yeah. Opening scene when the intruder comes in and Craig's fighting him off, and Day Day's just daydreaming about women and and ridiculous
he wouldn't wake up.
food, and he wouldn't wake up. He's just talking in his sleep. And that set the tone for the dynamic between the two. Yeah, so it was fun. It's fun dynamic. A great buddy movie with two of them for sure. And again, this bleeds into, I guess, the next topic or takeaway was that the comedy is more of a slapstick style of comedy. It's not all about like the weed and just like meandering through that hole. It's like a lot of slapstick back and forth. We kind of hinted at that already, but you want to take us a little bit more into that, Boogie?
Yeah, I mean, we started to see some of that slapstick comedy. Like it becomes a little more physical as well. Like we see, like we mentioned with Craig and Day Day, he's always tossing Day Day around, and like we see even the opening when Craig tries to stop Santa from robbing him, and Santa beats him with the Christmas tree. It's like, like what? They're trying to, then the police come over and then they're trying to describe him as, ODB in a Santa Claus suit. You know, the
Love
cops
that.
have funny names.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even the interaction when we first see Terry Cruz's character of Damon when they're trying to, you know, sneak out to go to work, and he's standing there and he's like, "Come in, give me a hug," and he just kind of snatches them up. It's like squeezing them. It's like, and just the constant, like, you know, physical, like over the top stuff, like we introduced him to Uncle Elroy and Pops, their barbecue commercial, you know, "Take so good when you want to slap your mama," you know, and then Pops taps Mom on the shoulder. It actually physically slaps her on camera. It's like, what? But yeah, it's like just constant stuff like that is going on throughout the movie. You know, interacting with, you know, our favorite pimp / store owner, Money Mike, and, you know, even with Moley, you know, it's just a lot of that stuff, and it's just over the top.
Yeah, definitely my kind of humor. I love that. That's why I always love like Three Stooges and Three's Company and all that stuff. So the physical comedy, like, it had me laughing a lot throughout. Yeah, the cops name were A-hole and B-dicks.
Yes.
And I alluded to before my opening when Molly was like, "The freaks come out at night." He's referencing Houdini. A couple times they come back to "Got knocked the F out," which was a callback to the scenes with Debo in the first movie. Did you guys catch the one store? It was called Toys in the Hood.
Yes.
Love that. Love that. And one actor that had a smaller cameo was Chris Williams. It was Vanessa Williams' brother in real life. He was the shoplifter with the girl pretending to be pregnant, which I thought was a funny scene where he was kind of having like a seizure of sorts, a fake seizure, and he's in one of my all-time favorite episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm. The episode's called Crazy Eyes Killer, and if you haven't seen that one, he plays a prominent role in that one. The dynamic between him and Larry David, you can only imagine. Yeah. So the style of comedy was right up my alley. Miss Pearly, also the landlord seducing Willie. That was a funny scene.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh man,
we got to mention John Witherspoon, his signature comedy where he's over enunciating the words. Love it.
He had to go to the bathroom.
Had to go to the bathroom.
The whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah. At least one time in the movie, he's gonna have to make a dash for the bathroom somewhere.
Yep.
Oh man.
Always funny. Yeah. So comedy, I was cracking up. It was very funny. I like the slapstick style.
I'm an easily amused guy, and this was mildly amusing, but I didn't think it was as funny as the original Friday, and so yeah.
Well, the original Friday has those iconic lines that perpetuate throughout.
It's a different kind
lexicon.
of movie too, different kind of comedy.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
it's a lot. First Friday was a lot more serious than this one.
Yeah,
true.
I found it funnier because it was more serious than this. It was like straight slapstick. I don't mind. I like slapstick too and everything, but yeah, I wasn't laughing as hard as some of the things that I was laughing at in the first one.
right.
Yeah. That's the first Friday though. The dialogue was dialogue propelled that movie. So like, yeah, because there was like, even like, you know, there weren't a lot of like flashy or action type scenes or where there was like a lot going on. There's more so dialogue and just sitting around and just, you know, people just sitting around having a conversation. But the one-liners that came out of those convos was just straight up classic material.
Yeah, I mean, still like cultural touchstones for me.
Yeah,
definitely. So one of the things we'll mention, like I think the first Friday probably holds up as the best, right? I mean,
oh yeah,
yeah. That's a classic. If you're going to tell somebody watch Friday, it's the original. Like a lot of trilogies or sequels, like the first one is like the one you have to see. Yeah.
Yep, we said the same thing with the House Party series. It's like the second one didn't hold up as well as the first one, and most people had never even heard of the third one to get a little on the fourth one. They're like, "Is a third and a fourth one?" I'm like, "Yeah, there are." I've never watched the fourth one. I've watched the third one, But yeah,
The fourth one with Ken playing it, or the fourth one that came out like last year.
now the fourth one,
It was like House Party 4.
It is a House Party 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a house, it follows the same storyline, but like House Party 3 shows kid getting married, and it introduces his cousins, his younger cousins, and they're the main characters in the fourth one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Sure.
But yeah, exactly.
Sure. Sounds great.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like Breaking and Breaking 2, right? Breaking was a solid, and then Breaking 2 was good for a bit, and then went off the rails.
Yeah. I had Breaking 2 Wrath of Khan.
Secret of the Ooze.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Con.
So
CCONN Khan.
Speaking of sequels and trilogies and whatnot, this movie, Friday After Next, is the last Friday installment for more than 2 decades until the fourth movie, which is scheduled for release next year, apparently. So we're just looking at that.
Yeah.
So even as of June of 2024, Ice Cube was saying that it's in the works for 2025.
That is in works. There's an article from Entertainment Weekly that talks about it in June, and according to Ice Cube, he's not actually that pleased that it took so long. Obviously, 23 years to get the next one. Especially since major characters have now since passed, like John Witherspoon and Tiny Lister and Anthony Johnson are all gone.
Oh yeah.
Even though Ezal wasn't in this third movie, he was a pretty good character from the first one.
Yeah, there's no Debo in this one either.
Yeah.
The Debo role played by Terry Crews.
Yeah.
He's the enforcer.
The muscle, different muscle this time.
Yeah. Different muscle, yeah.
That's right. Right. And this one took us back to the hood. So original Friday was in the hood, South Central. Then the next Friday, they move out to the suburbs with Day-Day and Elroy, and then back here to the hood. So you have more of the urban feel with the strip mall. A lot of it happens at that wild and crazy strip mall.
Yeah. So one thing that I did notice about the strip mall, and this is a callback to Boys in the Hood, there was a liquor store and a check cash took place in the strip mall.
That's right.
Yep.
It's like, I was like, yep, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Art imitates life.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Furious Styles was right.
Furious was right all along. Furious was right.
It was one of Terry Crews's earlier movies, but what I think is more impactful is the movie helped launch the career of Katt Williams. That was our fifth takeaway. Katt Williams played Money Mike, and he was hilarious. He was fending off Terry Crews in this one, and with his pimp style and way of speaking. And it was around the same time where he was launching his comedy career, his stand-up comedy. And Katt Williams he's everywhere today, a media mogul. And this is early days of Katt Williams getting that recognition on the big screen. Yep.
The Katt was he every scene he was in, it was just fun, so funny because, I mean, for one, I mean his physical stature, he's a little guy, but he talks so big.
He talks very big. Yep.
Yeah, he talks so big, and it's just like, if you've seen any 70s blaxploitation flicks, and you've seen any pimps or in those kind of movies, he's carrying that persona like full on steam through this movie, but in a very comedic tone. And the thing about it, his character is not trying to be funny. He's absolutely dead serious, but you can't help but to laugh at it because it's so hilariously over the top. I mean, down to his dress. I mean, he's got the permed out hair, which became a signature of his. He's got the flashy, shiny clothes on, the hat, the glasses, the rings. I mean, he's even has a cameo scene with him and Bishop Don Magic Juan, who's well known in the hip hop world for accompanying Snoop throughout his his journey. There's the one-liners that come out of his mouth, like, you know, when he's Pip in distress. It's like, what?
that was probably my favorite parts of the movie, even though I didn't particularly find it all that funny. He was really funny, and he wasn't even that loud, but he talked big.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the one part when, you know, after, you know, Craig and Day, you know, foil the shoplifters, you know, plot to get away with some clothes, and he's walking towards the booth with the blade, and the way they grabbed him up, his feet are just kicking in the air, they snatched him up. And then when he meets Damon at Craig and Day's party, and Damon snatches him, he's like, "Oh, woo, that was like I was in the Matrix."
That was good. That's good.
I do like some of the other pop culture references. They referenced Deion Sanders and doing the Deion dance, and Deion's back in the spotlight as the Colorado coach. And it's just something about Barry Bonds, and I love sports references. So is that one of Barry Bonds?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
Elway came out with the bat.
Yeah, that kind of stuff will it'll be memorable for sports fans, and kind of date what time frame where these guys were at the top of their game. Both Barry Sanders and Deion Sanders as players, Hall of Famers for sure. Yeah, so there you have it with Katt Williams, big time role for him, you know, and on his meteoric rise. There. Yep.
Yeah, he's internationally known right now. I think right now there's a lot of references to his name in the media because, not to bring a dark cloud, but there's this whole, you know, situation with P. Diddy that's been going on, and Katt Williams mentioned stuff about this like years ago, and everybody thought he was joking, and he was dead serious.
Yeah,
like, wow. Yep. Seems like Katt was right all along.
Katt's with Club Shay Shay, right? With Shannon Sharp. He's on his show. Is he regular on the show, or is he co-host? I don't know. I know I've seen a lot of clips with him.
Now, he had a long, infamous interview with Shannon on that Club Shay Shay, where he just kind of was open and honest. I'm airing everything out, and
that's right. He called out a lot of other actors.
He did
the Hannibal Buress. Yeah.
He called out everybody.
That's what it was.
He heard it out there, like Hannibal Buress did with Cosby.
Yep.
Right. We got you.
Yeah.
Yep. There you have it with Friday After Next. We covered all the aspects here. If there's anything left out, speak up. Otherwise, we can go around and do our ratings of the movie. Boogie, for Friday After Next, would you bring that funky flick back?
Bring that funky flick back?
Or leave it in the vault?
I mean, despite I'm not being fully on with it being a Christmas movie, even though, you know, it's got that undertone, I'm saying, yeah, I'm going to bring that funky flick back. I enjoyed it. I don't think it holds up to the original, but it was good for some laughs.
I hear you. Dino Wright, Friday After Next, bring that funky flick back or leave it in the vault?
Despite me not being all that laughing at it so much, I will bring this funky flick back. It has a few good laughs.
Yep, and I'm aligned with you guys. I will bring this funky flick back. Again, I'm a big fan of slapstick, and it did have me laughing quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it.
Right,
look at that. That's a trifecta. All three Friday movies.
Yeah,
we did it. We did it.
They've been brought back.
we did it, guys.
Yeah. We don't need Cube on our bad side.
You got a hat trick, man. A hat trick.
Yeah. Hip Hop Movie Club is produced by your HHMCs, JB, Boogie, and Dino Wright. Theme music by Boogie. We've got a bunch of live events in 2025 coming up. You can learn it more at our website, hiphopmovieclub.com. On February 5th, 2025, at Steel Stacks in Bethlehem, we are presenting a screening of Breakin' with some live breakdancing demos. Tickets at steelstacks.org. Whether you're listening to the podcast or watching us on YouTube, please give us a follow. It's a real power up for us. Thanks for tuning in.
And remember, don't hate, meditate.
Stay
Right on.
Nice job, fellas.
Yes, sir.